on those storms in just a few minutes. We saw Robin out there reporting in the rain. But first, good morning. Thanks for being with us on this Wednesday. I'm Amy Lang.
And I'm Ryan Armani. Let's get right to our top story. 2 people were shot in the middle of the street in broad daylight on Detroit's east side. And now police need your help in finding the shooter.
And that's where Fox 2's Robin Murdoch fits into all of this. She is live in Detroit outside public safety headquarters. And Robin, any new details from police this morning?
You know, I did reach out, Amy and Ryan, to police earlier this morning. They are still very actively investigating the situation. They tell me that one of the victims does remain in critical condition this morning. The other is in stable condition, and the search continues for the suspect that put both of them in the hospital.
As far as violence, shooting or stuff like that, no, we don't have that.
That all unfortunately changed, though, on Tuesday afternoon when Detroit police descended on McKay here on the city's east side. The usually quiet street was soon covered in crime scene tape and evidence markers following what we now know was a double shooting in broad daylight. The suspect who pulled the trigger still out there somewhere.
I heard somebody screaming as well, screaming at the person. I heard, like they were arguing.
This woman who didn't want to show her face had no problem sharing what happened too close to her home while she was doing yard work just before 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon. Moments after the yelling, a series of gunshots in the middle of McKay Street between Outer Drive and 8 Mile, then sirens.
In order to get them some immediate medical attention, one of the police officers did, in fact, convey the second victim to the hospital.
According to that captain, a total of 2 men in their 40s were struck. At last check, that victim, who was put in the patrol car, remained in stable condition. The other is currently being treated for critical injuries after a neighbor drove him to the ER themselves. This as the search for whoever is behind the shooting continues. The sound, the scene, unforgettable.
I knew what it was. Yeah, I knew it was gunfire.
Now, right now, it is unclear whether the suspect in that shooting perhaps ran from the scene or maybe even drove away from the scene. That is what investigators are still trying to determine. At this point, they have not released any sort of description of the suspect that they are looking for. But of course, if anything does change, we'll be sure to pass it along to you. We are live outside Detroit Police Headquarters. I'm Robin Murdoch for Fox 2 News.
Yeah, Robin, obviously neighbors terrified. You mentioned a neighbor actually taking someone to the hospital. We heard the ice cream truck in the background. I mean, this is a neighborhood. People live here, kids live here, and this kind of incident, these random bizarre shootings, we say it all the time, but these bullets don't have names, and, it's just unbelievable how dangerous these situations can be.
Yeah, as you know, Amy, yesterday it was a very warm day. Lots of kids later in the evening were playing outside in that area, from what I understand. So certainly a very scary situation, and that is exactly why police want to get this suspect off of the streets. The good thing about this is that, it appears to be a situation between these 2 groups of people, between the suspect as well as the 2 others, that, it wasn't completely random. So I guess that is the good takeaway, but let's hope they get him into custody very quickly. Back to you.
Absolutely. As always, Robin Murdoch, we appreciate you. Thanks so much. Ryan.
New this morning, Warren police are investigating an accident involving a pedestrian, Sky Fox, over the scene at the intersection of Hoover and Common near Warren Cusno High School. Police were blocking traffic for several minutes before containing the crash to 1 lane. So far, we do not know the extent of any injuries. Stay with Fox 2 for updates as they become available.
And also new this morning from Warren, officers responding to a report of shots fired at 12 Mile and Mound. It appears a vehicle was struck several times. Those inside ended up in a parking lot in the area of Mound and 13 Mile. At this point, police say no one was hurt. They're investigating, but say those involved are not cooperating. Stay with Fox 2 on air and online for more details. And also new this morning, police in Southgate investigating after a stabbing. This was outside of a hotel there. And we understand it happened around 1:30 this morning outside of the La Quinta Inn at Reek and North Line Roads. Police tell Fox 2 the victim, a man in his early 40s, was stabbed in the chest and is hospitalized in stable condition. So far, the victim is reportedly not cooperating with police. So far, there are no arrests and no word on a possible motive for this attack.
Meanwhile, the search continues in Inkster this morning for an accused killer.
I didn't probably sleep 2.5 hours. You don't know if Josh is coming back. Josh is still in that car. Is he in the house next door?
Police believe 25-year-old Joshua Hill shot and killed his own mother. The 64-year-old was found dead inside her home on Glenwood Monday afternoon. Neighbors telling us her son appeared to have some mental health issues. If you have any information on the whereabouts of Joshua Hill, please call 911 right away.
Well, one day of warmth left in our little heat wave here. And for kids in Detroit, that means another short school day. The Detroit Public Schools Community District will be dismissing students 3 hours early again today. A number of districts have done this week because of inadequate cooling systems in the building.
I think it's a good idea because it's so hot, but I think keeping the kids hydrated with water, Gatorade, you know, we got to keep them hydrated.
Let the kids stay at home until they can get proper ventilation in the school for the kids, because a lot of kids have health issues.
Tough to learn when it's too hot. You know, Southfield Public Schools resuming classes today after canceling school there yesterday.
Well, we are started the day, I should say, pretty hot and humid, but rain moving in and hopefully cooled things off a little bit.
Hopefully it will, but we know that some of those storms could be strong. So Weather Authority Derek Kevra is here tracking the latest with the forecast.
Guys, we do have some of that rain already has made its way through earlier this morning. Now we got a little bit of a break, a little bit of a lull, which we knew was going to happen. We would have plenty of these as we move through the day today. Breaks, that is, plenty of those breaks. However, that all said, we've still got these storms that are out here making their way past Jackson, starting to track towards and into areas. Hillsdale drying out, spots around Albion, Lansing starting to get a little bit wet. So they're moving in our direction. And we're going to see this rain between now and probably 1:30. So here's some of the ETAs for when it's likely to arrive. Downtown around 12:10, St. Clair Shores closer to 12:15, areas in Livonia 11:47, and then Ann Arbor just a little bit before 11:30. So these storms not incredibly strong, not severe, but they are, you know, thunderstorms. So we got some rumbles of thunder out there. So any outdoor activity should be brought inside just for safety's sake. Later today, we might get another round of some stronger, possibly even severe thunderstorm activity between 7, 8, 9 o'clock as that rain moves closer to us. The other thing is going to be the temperature. So how hot is it going to get today? The answer is hotter earlier. By noon, we're looking at 83, but the heat index closer to 87. By 4 p.m., it starts to drop just a little bit. You can thank the rain for that, but you can also thank the cold front that is bringing in that cooler air, which we will certainly feel as we move into Thursday and Friday with high temperatures in the upper 70s, falling to the low 70s. We'll discuss that weekend forecast a little bit later in the show. Amy?
All right, thank you, Derek. A family pleading for justice after a young woman is shot and killed at a Detroit Coney Island. Coming up, why the victim's family say she was gunned down while just trying to do the right thing.
A pride flag stolen not once but twice from a business in Birmingham. Coming up, how a congresswoman is trying to make this small business whole.
A family is pleading for justice this morning after a young woman is killed while trying to do the right thing.
The 27-year-old was shot and killed over the weekend while trying to break up a fight at a late-night restaurant. Fox 2's Dave Kinchin spoke with the victim's grieving family.
She led with her heart. She would give you the shirt off of her back. She was always helping people.
LaDonna Kemp says that's exactly what her daughter was doing when her life was stolen from her over the Labor Day weekend. Family members say 27-year-old Dawnae Wilbert was gunned down at Hollywood Coney Island on Detroit's west side early Sunday morning, not long after she tried to break up a fight.
We had to even tell her, like, you can't pull over in your car when you're by yourself because you see somebody on the road and they need help because it's dangerous out there. But she was kind of like the type of person that would have to, like, try or see for herself.
It started with Dawnae and her girlfriends having a fun night out. They went to the Coney Island for a bite to eat when an argument developed between two men and a woman, according to sources.
She just wanted everybody to go home and get home. And I'm very sure in my thoughts of knowing that she wanted to get home. I guess the guy followed her out and she was able to get herself out of the restaurant and she was shot in the parking lot.
Although we couldn't actually touch her when we went to go view her based upon the circumstance, she even had a smile on her face as we had to observe her in her last state.
She was doing the right thing, and that's what angers me.
Detroit activist Pastor Mo works with many community groups teaching de-escalation techniques to quash beefs before they ever can turn violent. He offered this advice for safe conflict resolution.
Make sure you're in a lighted area. Read body language. Look and see if they're reaching. Look and see if there's anything poking out their waist. Look at their type of demeanor. If this is the kind of person that they would have a weapon. If this is a working class person who maybe got on work clothes, you might can reason with them. There's somebody with a hoodie on. I'm not trying to judge anybody, but this is somebody who looks like they could be dangerous, menacing, or just don't care. Be careful how you approach somebody who could be having a mental breakdown.
Meantime, Donnae's family is determined to make sure her legacy lives on.
I just want whoever did this to know they took away such a bright light that shined on so many different people. Everybody that she ever talked to will remember her because of just her great shine. Just her personality was amazing, and she was amazing.
Such a beautiful young woman and lovely parents. Our hearts go out to them. That was, of course, Dave Kinchin reporting. Again, police are still looking for the gunman. They're hoping someone who might have seen something will please come forward. Ryan.
Amy, a news alert from up north this morning. Michigan State Police looking for the man who shot up multiple patrol cars at the Sault Ste. Marie post and set them on fire. Take a look at these pictures. Troopers say the man drove up in a silver Honda CR-V wearing camouflage. He was last seen driving southbound on I-75 Business Loop. The good news, no troopers were hurt. Michigan State Police says the Sault Ste. Marie post will remain closed today, and all other MSP posts will remain open with regular lobby hours. My goodness. Police in Detroit looking for these three suspects in connection with a carjacking. The crime happening back on August 7th at a gas station on the city's east side. The thieves, all armed, confronted a driver of a Chrysler 300, then took off with the car, along with the driver's phone and some cash. Call Crime Stoppers at 1-800-SPEAK-UP if you recognize any of them.
And a federal judge rules Warren Mayor Jim Fouts cannot run for a fifth term. The court dismissing his civil rights lawsuit filed against the Warren City Council. Remember, in 2020, voters approved a measure saying mayors can only serve 3 terms. Well, Fouts argued his rights were violated and asked the court to decertify the election and get him back on the ballot. He is expected to appeal the latest ruling. And a business supporting the LGBTQ community continuously targeted in Birmingham. A realtor's pride flag stolen twice.
Now a local congresswoman is getting involved. Fox 2's Jessica Dupnack explains.
We say equality for all.
Congresswoman Haley Stevens presenting a gay-owned realty in Birmingham with a pride flag Tuesday after this.
Unfortunately, this year, that pride flag insignia was ripped off the window during Pride Month, not once, but twice.
Owner James Christbrook says it happened during Pride Month back in June.
The second time, I actually put up a sign that added to it that said, somebody took our first one, clearly they don't understand about peace and love. And the second one was stolen.
I spoke with Birmingham police on Tuesday. They tell me they are, of course, aware of this case. It has been investigated. They scoured for surveillance video and other evidence, but unfortunately, they could not develop a suspect.
The second one was stolen. Then it was very hurtful. It was like there's a mission here.
The congresswoman who sits on the Equality Caucus in D.C. says countrywide they monitor an increase in the LGBTQI+ being targets of crime.
We are not going to allow hate and discrimination to rear its head here on Merrill and Bates Street or anywhere in Oakland County.
Hopefully this isn't a blip in where we are as a country and where we are as a community.
Reporting in Birmingham, Jessica Dupnack, Fox 2 News.